You guys, I'm like so hot right now, but at the same time, I kind of have a strep throat. By the way, did you guys know that's a bacterial infection instead of a virus? Yeah, that you didn't. There's four types of different. Okay, whatever. This is not a bio lesson. By the way, I'm slaying in bio these days. Anyway, this video is not that. This video is 15 things that you guys did not know about me. And I thought it would be a cool idea. One day I was just going to sleep and I thought, hey, there are some things that I've never shared to the internet before. And I thought it might be nice to share that. I don't know. I used to make a lot of videos where I just talked about my life and my personal daily routines and whatnot. However, it's kind of shifted on this channel towards other topics that I'm interested rather than me as myself. So I thought I would bring this back, not saying that I want to be, I want to make me the center of attention, although this is my channel. I don't know what I'm saying. I honestly just finished filming a video and I'm a little bit heat stroked. So maybe that's the reason why. And I'm trying to complete this entire water bottle. I filled it up, completed it at school, and it's honestly larger than it seems on the camera. Anyway, we're going to be beginning. I actually wrote it on a notebook because this was a right before bed thought. So, yeah. Okay, let's begin. Some of these you might know. Maybe I've mentioned it once in a live stream and I totally forgot. However, let's start with number one, which is the fact that I wear ortho-Ks. And for those who may not know what ortho-K is, ortho-Ks are like a type of contact lenses. However, you wear them at night. And you might be thinking, wow, that's crazy. However, it's essentially like you put it in at night and then throughout when you are sleeping, it almost recharges your eyes so that they get better vision. Oh my god, I can't talk. And what it does is honestly like squeezes a certain part of the eye that I know in Korean, but I don't know the term for it in English. And it kind of charges you for about 12 hours, and then you do that every night to get better vision. If you don't put them on, for the night, the next day you're not going to have any vision. Some people actually last 2 days, so they have to do it every other day. However, that's very uncommon, so I put them on every night. However, I don't put them on the weekends, so like Friday and Saturday, I don't wear my contact lenses to sleep. And they're not the most comfiest thing because you can't lay on your sides, and I'm a side sleeper. And actually, I don't have a specific left or right. I just kind of pick which side I feel comfortable with that night. However, you have to like sleep sleep 100% still and so that it doesn't go inside your eye or whatever. So that's that. That's the best. It's not the best, but it's better than wearing, I think, normal contacts because you're not bothered through the entire day. However, ortho-Ks are kind of bad because later you're kind of sensitive to light, like bright light. Like right now, this is light, as you may be able to tell. However, I kind of get more sensitive to that. And some days when I'm just in artificial light for the entire day, my eyes get really tired and I have to blink really often and it kind of hurts sometimes. Anyway, number two, the most, oh my god, why did I write this down? The most I've spent on a photo card, like K-pop photo card, is $5, and that's like without shipping. So with shipping you could probably estimate $7. And literally I do have to do a photo card collection video one day. This is literally full of Shinon photo cards, and there's more that are literally just like sitting there because there's no more pages on this book. So maybe I have to buy a new collecting book, but here's a sneak peek. I've got a lot, and I'll do a collection video one day. Let me know if that's something you guys want to see. Maybe I'll do like a whole Pentagon collection video because I've collected a lot of things since standing. Okay, it's mainly Shinwon things. So yeah, I'm honestly continuing to shop for PCs. However, I'm kind of taking a break. I think the only ones that have yet to come to me are like about 5, and 3 of those I bought like way long ago, so maybe they got lost in the mail or something. I don't know, we'll see. Okay, so number 3 is, am I going through these too quickly? I don't know. Someone was like, edit out the drinking water part, we don't need it. However, isn't it a resourceful reminder that you need to stay hydrated? I don't know, I'm just kidding. I honestly kind of go for the natural vibes on this channel, like no editing, and I just talk from start to finish, and I kind of feel accomplished when I do that because the fact that although I do make mistakes in between, the fact that I just talked for 30 minutes straight or sometimes even an hour, which used to be a regular thing. However, talking for an hour really strains me these days, so 30 minutes is typically my max. And when it's about Boys Planet, maybe around 40 to 50 minutes. But no, I don't see the need for that. If you want really high polished videos, then go check out my other channel, of course, because all of my efforts are put in there. And this one is more like a chill thing, which is just for me and my close viewers to watch, right? It's just like a little discussion time. Okay, and then the third one, oh my god, I had to move on, is that I quit bubble tea. The last time I had bubble tea was at this place that I've actually never been to before, but I was hanging out with my friends, and this was probably, I want to say like January. So it's been a while, either December or January, probably early January. And right now it's like what, mid-March? So it's definitely been a while since I've had a drink, and I don't call it like absolutely quitting. And you might be asking, why did you quit bubble tea? Like for your health, for money? Well, I don't know. I didn't even mean to quit it, but I just kind of figured that I would rather take a cup of water. And sometimes like bubble tea leaves you with the feeling that's like, oh, I had so much sweet, I guess, sweets. I don't know, it kind of leaves an odd feeling inside your mouth, at least for me. So I've decided to just take a break for it, although it's not like a strict diet when I'm like, no, I cannot have bubble tea. If someone gives it for me for free, I'll take it, you know? It's not like I have to do this. More like I would rather not have bubble tea. And you guys might be like, okay, isn't that kind of normal? But no, I used to have bubble tea extremely often. And you know, perhaps that's because the trend of bubble tea has gone down, because typically you would see people have bubble tea drinks in their hands like every single day back in grade 10. So that was like 2 years ago or even 3 years ago. However, that trend of bubble tea I think has kind of gone down. Like I rarely see people with bubble tea in their hands. Who knows? Okay. Next, number 4 is that I change phone cases extremely often. Like I think the max I've gone with the same phone case is 2 months. And I don't mean like I use them only for 2 months. I like rotate through them. So it's not like fast fashion where I wear them for a day and then I throw them out. Definitely not. I do have like, I think max 8 or 9 phone cases that I kind of rotate through. However, I got new phone cases and I kind of want to brag them to you guys. So I'm going to do that right now. The one that I'm currently using, I actually just got it today. Casetify, guys. Wow. And you guys might be thinking, okay, Casetify, bougie. But no, it's really nice. I got to actually like pick out these phone cases on my own. And I went with this. Wait, no, you can't even see that. I'm so sorry. The light is kind of confusing, right? Okay, so it's a bunch of tulips here. Oh, this is the best angle. And there's these 2 girls picnicking, which is perfect because it was like, no, it still is International Women's Month. It was International Women's Day a couple of days ago, but anyway, it's so cute. And I love how like in your face it is. Like the print is so like in your face, and I just love that. I love it so much. Oh my goodness. I'll leave the info in my description box. I'm pretty sure there's like a link that takes you to all of the phone cases that are mentioned in this video. And then the next one is this one. It's essentially just, here, I'll take this out. It's just a clear phone case. I thought it would be great to put my PCs in. These days, I've actually been putting my PCs backwards because, I don't know, I kind of feel ashamed for having the front. You might be like, okay, then what's the point? But it's just like the way it is. Okay, and there's a sticker on it as well. Let me take that off. And here, it's so clear. It says Irene on it. By the way, I've used Casetify phone cases before and I really like them. And the other ones I had were not clear, which is kind of something that I was mad at myself for not choosing. This one is actually also clear, like this part. The little segments are clear. And then the last phone case I got is this papaya one. Oh my goodness. Well, it's not just papaya. There's also, is that dragon fruit? Yeah, dragon fruit. And other, is that like, you know, the really smell-inducing fruit? I don't know. But this one is also clear and it's just a bunch of tropical fruits. I'm just in love with tropical fruits. Any fruits in general. I thought this would be a fun summer phone case. I'm, you know, almost constricting that for summer vibes. Okay, and then the last thing that I got is this foam keychain, and it looks like this. The name for this is Rainbow Pearl, and it's just really aesthetic. It almost reminds me of like necklaces that a lot of girls wear. I love them so much. I love seeing them on people. It's just so cute, especially when it matches with their outfits. I, for one, like I wear jewelry, but I don't think that kind of loud jewelry would suit me. Typically, I just wear something like, just gold or silver jewelry where it's extremely simple like that. Okay, moving on to the next point, number 5. The latest I've stayed at school is 10:30 p.m. And you might be asking why. Well, that's because I'm a part of band executive. And I've explained this a couple of times, but I'll just re-explain it. It's essentially where like not a couple, there's quite a bit, but it's like a leadership group and we do a bunch of things for the band. And the reason I was staying till 10:30 p.m. is because I was working on program, and this was for the concert program. So when you go to a concert, you like a classical concert, not a woo kind of concert. Like you receive a pamphlet and it says all the repertoire lists, like who's performing, all of that. So that is essentially what the media team works on, which is what I am on, media and communications. That's like one thing we work on, and it took us a while. And we do it like across, I think, about 1 to 2 months. So it's a lot of effort put in. You would think a program would be super simple to make. You just have to insert the text, make it look pretty, and it would be done in a day. But no, we take it very seriously. So that is why I stayed till 10:30 p.m. Okay, next, moving on to number 6 is I'm going to be talking about some negative things? I don't know. So I honestly have 2 of my least favorite Pentagon songs in the same album. And you guys might be mad, but I think one of them is a popular opinion. So the very first one is You Like, and it's just like so in your face, and sometimes you just don't need that. You don't need that kind of vibe. So it's not my favorite. And then Paradise. It's almost like the same thing. I think Paradise is a hip hop unit song, and they're both in the album With. And With is an amazing album, and it's almost, I want to say a little bit more moody and a little bit more somber vibes. And I love that for it. And I wish all of the B-sides would follow that as well, because the other tracks, like the other B-sides in the album, is so good. Like the title track, Daisy, there's Beautiful Goodbye, there's Nostalgia, and then there's these 2. Which, I'm not complaining about. I would listen to these. However, I do usually skip these 2 songs. I do love the rest of the album. It's just like those 2 songs in their entire discography. So I'm not like complaining about the fact that there's 2 songs that I dislike. But I just wanted to share that opinion of mine. Water Break. And this is a reminder for you to drink your water as well. Okay. Moving on, number 7, and I just wanted to get all the Pentagon ones out of the way because some of you guys might not be interested in Pentagon, but my bias in Pentagon is obviously Shinwon, and my least favorite Shinwon era is very clear. I've actually never ever talked about this, but it's the era called Sharala. Why, you might be asking yet again, is the hair was not a vibe. It was like this kind of hair, just search up Shinwon Sharala. It was just interesting. Like the back was like sticking out and it was just like not it. Let me show you a picture if I can even find one. But just because of that, it's my least favorite era of him. But obviously he slays in every era. And if I were to say my favorite, it would probably be Humph or Do or Not. Okay, yeah, this is a good picture that kind of showcases why I do not entirely love this era. Like, you see how the back like stands out? I just am not in love with that hairstyle. So that's the only reason why. Love the song, love the album, just not a fan of the hair. And like the other members' hair is fine. I don't know what the hairstylists were thinking, but they kind of did him dirty. And I don't think anyone else shared the same opinion, so I kind of was restricted to say it. But moving on to the next one. Okay, number 8. And this one is kind of specific to more so North American viewers, I think, because there's this brand where they essentially just sell bread, and it's called Cobb's Bread. I searched it up because I thought it would only be Canadian specific. However, they sell it in America too, so I thought I would share. Anyway, It's really like popular here in Canada. Like a lot of people go there for bread because it's pretty cheap and it's also good. But my favorite thing from there is the raspberry and custard Danish. Whew, so good. If you guys ever go visit Cobb's Bread, get that. The raspberry and custard Danish. And I also enjoy their blueberry Danish, but I think this one is my favorite. It's like the perfect combination of sweet and sour because the raspberries are somewhat tart, but at the same time, or not the Danish, the custard kind of complements that. And because the custard is sweet, it balances the two. So it's like so perfect, and I love it. Okay, number 9. Oh my goodness, this one is an embarrassing one, but the longest amount of time that I have not showered for, does that make sense? Like the amount of days that I haven't showered for is 4 days. You might be thinking that's like quite short, or maybe you don't. I don't know. It's like in my entire lifetime. Because like typically the longest I go without showering is max 1 day. I cannot stand not showering because, you know, I am Asian, which means I have black hair, and when you don't shower for a while, it looks really, really gross and musty, and the oil will like stream through, and it just looks disgusting, and it looks like you haven't showered in a month. So that is why I prefer not to, and it just feels so icky because if I look icky, I probably feel icky inside as well. So that is my reason why. And I think that reason was, or the reason I didn't shower was because I was like sick or something. Because you know when you're sick and you just don't want to do anything and you feel so groggy, and especially when you get out of the shower, that's the worst feeling, right? When you get out of the hot water, it's so cold and the world feels so empty and so lonely. Yeah, probably why. Okay. Number 10 is, oh my god, I used to be a big collector on letters and like sentimental things. Honestly, I haven't received a letter in a while. Like, you know, it's just not like a super often thing that you receive unless it's like your birthday or whatever, or maybe you're leaving high school or whatnot, or maybe you're dying. Do people give? I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I used to collect letters and everything, and I used to keep a pile of them in my room. However, I like, this is so, like, you might shame me for this, but I kind of throw out letters unless it's like super something special. If it's just like a normal birthday card letter, I don't keep them anymore, and I might throw them out in the trash. I'm sorry. And then I complain about not receiving letters. Yeah, it makes sense. I don't know why. I feel so guilty for doing that because it's something that has sentimental value. But at the same time, like, what's the point of keeping it? You know, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have shared this. Maybe this wasn't the best idea. Another water bottle. Great. Yeah, okay. Next. Number 11 is I have never pulled an all-nighter. And by that, I mean I've never like not slept for 24 hours in a row. That's what I clarify as an all-nighter, by the way, because I think it's different if you're like had a nap in the middle. That's not an all-nighter. I think the latest I've stayed up is probably 4 a.m. or so. Yeah, because like filming that video, you guys know that audition experience video, that took 5 years from my life. I'm just kidding. But anyway, yeah, I've never done an all-nighter, never pulled one because I find them unnecessary. I think they're more ineffective than effective. I have a friend that pulls all-nighters all the time and she looks so tired, and she just like does it because she has to catch up on schoolwork and she's a bit of a perfectionist. But I personally think that catching up on sleep is way more important than studying just a little bit more. Because if you're tired the next day, well, for me, in that matter, I will not be able to focus and I might fall asleep during an exam, which is what I did for my social unit exam a couple of weeks ago. And, you know, I did okay, but I didn't do great. And I think I would have gone better if I didn't fall asleep. So maybe I should have gotten sleep the day before that, and I'm sure I did. But still, that's my issue there. So no, never pulled an all-nighter. These days I try to fall asleep at like 11, like go to bed at 11, and I start preparing for bed at like 10:30. So I'm trying to kind of move that to 10 a.m. But daylight savings is coming, so I have to honestly be even better at that now because we lose an hour of sleep this time around. Okay, actually I think it's like a day or so. I'm not even sure. The next one is number 12. Oh my god, let me tell you about something. My clock, my watch here, I bring it to school every day. This is so embarrassing. So The daylight savings before was probably back in September or October, and my watch is just set to that because I don't know how to change it. It's set to the time that I'm not in currently. Like it's 5:30 right now. This one says it's wait, it is 5:30. What? No, 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 no. No, no, no. What am I saying? It says it's 6:30 right now. I'm exposing myself too much. I'm going crazy. I read my watch wrong. Yeah, so it says it's 6:30, although it is 5:30 because it's set to the previous daylight savings time. So, in a couple of days, my watch will finally be correctly telling the right time. Hallelujah. Okay, the next one is 12, number 12, and this one is also an embarrassing one, probably a little less embarrassing than the letter situation, but still embarrassing. Okay, I'm gonna talk about my failures, and I mean like academic failures. How many quizzes, assignments, unit tests, chapter tests, whatever they may be, have I failed in my entire 3 years of high schooling? Okay, I wrote here I've probably failed about less than 5 assignments, tests, quizzes, and I'll tell you which courses specifically. So, math in grade 11, that was a rough time. Science in grade 10, that was also a rough time. And I think that's about it. Those two courses were the main reasons for these failures. And I'm I don't I hate saying it out of my own mouth because it just seems so self-absorbed, but I'm typically a good student. I swear. Like 3 out of my 4 courses currently are over 95. So if that tells you anything, yeah. The other one that isn't over 95 is social, and you just won't talk about that because I used to have 99. It dropped like crazy because of this one written response assignment. But I don't care. It's okay. It's okay. Nothing out of my control. And I studied and I tried my best, right? Okay. So that's that. So that was me attempting to be relatable as a student. However, I don't know if I ended up that way. Maybe if you see my social mark, you'll be like, ah, relatable. Or maybe you won't. Depends on what kind of student you are. Okay. Number 13 is a weird one. And I'll explain that right after having a water break. Oh my goodness. Physics. Okay. Number 13. I have this one viewpoint, and it's based on zoos. Now, a little bit of background story. As a child, I've never loved zoos. I've been to a couple of zoos in my childhood, and I was never really fond of them. I never had a desire to go to the zoo, and I never loved going to the zoo. And when we went to zoos for a school trip or whatnot, I wasn't too excited. And I never hated zoos. I was just quite indifferent to them. But now that I think about it, I think all zoos should be banned. And that might be like a very, very absurd statement to you guys, but think about it. Back in the day, this is honestly somewhat of a similar situation, but a lot more magnified. Back in the day, people were in zoos almost because they were people that were different. Like, let's say people that looked different, people who had crazy abilities, like they were able to do acrobatics. Maybe they used both arms and hands. That was the thing. But no, people used to watch these other people and they were almost caged up and they were treated as animals. And why was that banned? Because humans' rights. And that's not okay to treat a human as if we're some like museum figure or whatnot, like we're a wax figure, you know? So, why are animals being treated the same way is my personal question. And you guys may know, I'm not in love with animals. I'm quite indifferent to animals. I think they're cool. I don't personally have a pet. The only pet I've really had was, I think a type of a snail. I totally forget the word in English, like their terminology, and then fish. So I'm not like a huge animal lover. I'm not like, woo, animal rights. Obviously, I am for animal rights, but I'm not like a huge avid supporter of that, you could say. Anyway, I think later on in life, maybe even 100 years later, we'll look at zoos and think, wow, that was a thing? That's so crazy. Humans are terrible. Is what I think we'll think. and when we look back on these times when zoos were a thing. Because do you know how many animals die in zoos? And not just zoos. This also goes for aquariums. This also goes for, any place that essentially showcases animals as if it's like some kind of piece of non-living aspect of life. Well, non-living thing. Anyway, like it's terrible if you see those whales or dolphins that like hit the glass wall thinking they're in the ocean and then they die, and then the other ocean animals get shocked and then they get trauma and they also die. That's crazy to me, and I think that's horrible. So ban all zoos. If you disagree, let me know why, actually. I'm curious to see. And I'm also curious as to why zoos are still a thing. You would think that they are gone by now. I totally get that they provide some educational purposes, but I think for the most part, they're entertainment based. And obviously, it's great showcasing to kids that there are wildlife animals here and it's a great experience for them. I know a lot of people do enjoy zoos, specifically children, but in this day and age where there's an internet and you can just simply search up whale and honestly experience it the same way, I don't really see the point in them. That was just my pure opinion, and you might think that's so out of character, but I just wanted to share that. Okay. And this isn't like a philosophy I had forever. This is something that just came to me a couple of days ago and I wrote it down. Okay. Number 14. This was also a thought that came to me a couple of days ago because my mom bought cilantro and we never really have cilantro, but here's my perspective. I love cilantro. And what did we have it with? Oh yes, we had it as like a side plate. She put some like yangnyeom in it, which is kind of like it's like gochu and just like almost like a dressing in a salad, but make it spicy and Korean is what yangnyeom is. Like yangnyeom chicken is like the red chicken that you'll see. Like there's like an outer coat to it almost that's spicy. Anyway, we had that with beef. And you might be thinking, Irene, you just said ban all zoos. Yeah, I'm not vegetarian though, or vegan. I'm so contradicting today. Anyway, we had that and I was like, whoa, this is really good. And I guess I never realized that because I've never really had cilantro too much in the past. I think the only place that I regularly had cilantro is this restaurant that we went to twice, me and my friends and I. We went to this taco burrito taco restaurant, I think, and it was really good. And on the side they had cilantro, but I didn't realize that that was cilantro. But apparently there's this gene that makes it so that cilantros taste like soap. I apparently do not have that gene. I asked my friend, she said that she had that gene, and everyone that I asked hates cilantro, like just amongst all my friends. And I actually had chili with cilantro the other day, and it was so good. I just love cilantro. I think everyone should give it a try. I think it's very like a mature kind of taste bud situation thing because if you don't get cilantro, you just don't get it. But if you do, you get it. Okay, the very last one. Oh my goodness. Another food related one. I think I was hungry by the time I was finishing writing this. So number 15 is my favorite fruits. Yay. I've talked about this a couple times, but I think I have a more specific new one. So my favorite fruit, I used to say it was mangoes and like any tropical kind of fruit. However, these days I love apple mangoes. I don't know why. I love them. My mom bought them from Costco the other day, or not the other day, like a month ago. And we've been buying, no. This was not, no. Let me get the story correct. My mom's friend gave us a couple of apple mangoes to try. We kind of do this thing where we trade food. I don't know why. It's kind of pointless because, we can just buy it ourselves. We shop at the same place anyway. But no, she gives us apple mangoes. We give her like oranges. She gives us limes. We give her bread. It's just like a whole trade situation. And we haven't had mangoes in a while in our household. And you guys know I love mangoes. So I was so excited to try them. And when I tried them, it blew me out of my mouth. It was so good. And I think that specific period of time was the perfect mango season. It was probably around late January to February or so. It was so glowed. It was so good, mind blowing, and we bought it again and again. I think 3 rounds from Costco, and from Costco you buy it in a big box, so it's probably about like maybe 9 to 12 apple mangoes or so. And we finished it, and now there's no more apple mangoes in our house, and I'm so upset. But I wanted to share that story because I really miss apple mangoes. If you have an apple mango farm, call me. I'm just kidding. Why would anyone have an apple mango farm? Well, I'm sure someone has an apple mango farm. Why would they be watching this video, you know? Maybe I should go somewhere and like become an apple mango farmer. I'm like seriously considering that. If I don't graduate out of high school and you never hear from me again, you know where I am. Probably in like some tropical country farming apple mango. Where has this come to? It just came from loving apple mangoes to becoming a farmer. Anyway, thanks so much for watching this video. Wow, 30 minutes almost. 32 minutes or so. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you want to watch, and let me know which fact was most surprising. Probably the zoo one, right? Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Bye bye.